Oh, that gentleman right there. Anytime you see him on this program, it means we are blessed, graced by the presence of one of the greatest all-time players in the history of the NBA. Top 50. I call him top 15. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's a former Finals MVP, and he's still going strong. Rick Barry, you can follow him on all social media platforms. It's very easy. Rick24 Barry. Rick, pleasure, sir. How are you doing?
Nice to see you. I hope the summer's going well for you and all of your listeners. And I'm back up in the nice mountains of Colorado. Too hot in Florida, so I'll go back down there in November.
I love one of my oldest closest friends, Christian Peterson, a photographer with Getty Images. He's been living in Arizona for a long time, and he told me that the other day, he's like, I've had it with the heat. I'm moving to Colorado. It's a matter of when, not if. So you're not alone in terms of wanting to escape the heat. Christian, hope you're doing well, brother. On the show today, the Warriors have not one but two new rookies. They also issued a very bizarre contract extension. Rick, I know you want to. We talked in the pre-show meeting. One of the topics we're going to bring up today is the transition of a college head coach to an NBA head coach. That should be a fun discussion as well. Of course, we're going to talk about your greatness. We always go back into the time machine to bring up some of your accolades, some of your incredible accomplishments. Rick, I even have an email for you, sir, that we're going to read on the show today. And if anybody ever wants to email us, by the way, the email address is right here on the screen, warriors24pod@gmail.com. Again, warriors24pod@gmail.com. Yes, the email address has something to do with Rick Barry. Of course, that 24 correlates. Let's get into it. We're powered by FanDuel. We're powered by Sunrun. Follow the Hall of Famer again on all social media platforms at Rick24 Barry. And this edition of Golden Days, it's the Rick Barry Show edition. Let's get into it.
You can't handle the truth.
Rick, anything driving you crazy lately?
Oh yeah. The NBA playoffs drove me crazy again, as usual. And these guys would get arrested on the street if they did to the person they're guarding on the streets. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this has always been my biggest pet peeve about the NBA from the day I first played in the NBA playoffs to this day. It's just as bad today as it was back then. They let more physicality take place during the regular season back then. So it wasn't as big a dramatic change, but it always got more physical. Now, the way they call the regular season compared to the playoffs is night and day. They just let the guys manhandle each other, guys crashing into one another, falling on the court, no whistle blowing. I mean, a couple of plays, Karl Anthony Towns is grabbing freaking Wemby and holding him at half court, just holding him. I mean, no fouls being – it's so absurd. Why they want to do that in this playoff basketball. And it really drives me crazy when the guys who are doing the announcing, who are former players, don't bitch about it. Because you're giving an advantage to the less skilled player. Cyrus, if you could go and grab me and hold me and do stuff, you're going to make it harder for me. And you're not an NBA quality player, okay? Okay, and you're going to make it more difficult for me to be able to play at my level, at the level I'm capable of playing, by being allowed to do all of that stuff. So I just don't understand it. It really is annoying to me. But it's a perfect example. This is probably one of the greatest examples of showing you where a coach can help you win a championship. Mike Brown totally outcoached the other coach.
100% agree. We haven't had you on since the Knicks won the championship. We'll talk about that as well. But in regards to what drives you crazy, Rick, it begs the question, given you brought this topic up numerous times before, and you're referencing referees and the double standards that are applied to their regular season officiating versus their postseason officiating. What was your experience with that? Something tells me like that affected you directly. Did it?
No, I just knew that I had to elevate my game, that I had to be prepared for a guy to get away with more than he was going to get away with during the regular season. Just became overtly physical. I mean, it just makes no sense whatsoever to me. I used to question, God rest his soul, David Stern. Why do you want to allow that to happen? Why are you letting the officials go that way? And I heard a disturbing thing to me, and I'm not going to mention it, but I heard something from a pretty reliable source about that the officials are told to let it get physical. I mean, that's disturbing to me. If that's the case, and the league, they should be ashamed of themselves. If the league is indeed encouraging the physicality of it, shame on them.
What if the officiating you saw in the postseason, Rick, was the same as the regular season, meaning it was consistent regardless of what part of the year it is? Would you be able to stomach that easier?
Yeah, just be consistent. I mean, I always just say, can somebody please show me the new rule book we're playing by? Because it's totally different. It is. It's just totally different. And I just for research purposes, when I was busy, doing shows all the time.
Yeah.
I did some research. If you look and see the majority in the history of the league, look at players' stats in the regular season and their stats in the playoffs, the majority of players are not as proficient in the playoffs as they are in the regular season. And it's because of the physical part of it.
I wish that it was just consistent across the board, meaning
not only for the play. Hell, if they could just be consistent from the start of the game to the finish of every game,
or that, yeah, or
even that would be a nice thing, wouldn't it? Be novel.
Yes, it would.
Same way. I mean, as a player, you will make adjustments. But my God, if you call it close at the start of the game and then you beat the hell out of one another at the end of the game, that's ridiculous. A foul is a foul, regardless if it's in the first 2 minutes or the last 2 minutes. It should be no different.
Very fair. No pushback at all. I personally wish that what we see in the regular season is similar to what we see in the postseason, where officials.
God, look what I've said this for years when we've been doing the show. Look what they do to Steph Curry off the ball.
Right.
In the play. It's insane.
Right. Very good point. I just don't like officials ever making an impact on the game itself.
But that's the biggest problem I tell you about, Cyrus. The officials always say, we don't want to be determining the outcome of the game. We want the players to determine it. Well, by not making the calls when they're violating the rules is determining the outcome of the game.
Right.
You are having a dramatic impact on it by not blowing your whistle when a foul occurs. If you call the game according to the rule book, the players will adjust to whatever it is, and they are going to determine the outcome of the game. But if you don't call a foul, when a foul occurs, now you are determining the outcome of the game.
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right. And we'll get into a lot here. There is a lot to discuss. I want to get your thoughts on the finals in general. Wholeheartedly agree with you that Mike Brown did outcoach Mitch Johnson. And we could get into that a lot further. We'll talk about the Warriors rookies. Al Horford getting a contract extension. That came out of left field today. I'm still befuddled by that. It makes no sense to give a 40-year-old basketball player another year when he was already under contract for this coming season. It makes no sense. We'll talk about that. Jimmy Butler made an appearance today, talked about how his knee's recovering. A whole bunch of things to discuss. First up, though, our sponsorships, FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Golden Days, and the Believe Network. And they have odds right now for who they think the favorites are for Rookie of the Year. And these odds are a bit peculiar, at least in terms of what I'm seeing, largely because the favorite for a Rookie of the Year is not A.J. DeBonsa. It's not even Darren Peterson. The bookies think that Cameron Boozer will win Rookie of the Year. His odds are plus 240. Darren, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not.
Sorry. Darren Peterson, A.J. DeBonsa, plus 400. Darius Acuff Jr., new Sacramento Kings point guard, plus 450. Caleb Wilson drops down to plus 950. That's your top five. Side note, Yaxel Lendeborg, 7th new Golden State Warrior. Yaxel Foley is the new nickname I like giving him. Rick, does that make sense to you? Do you know what the...
Actually, yeah, come on, Eddie Murray. Give me a break.
Thank you. Okay, I wasn't sure. The Axel Foley of Beverly Hills Cop. Now I'm calling him Yaxel Foley. Yaxel Lendeborg, plus 2,000. 7th. He's got better odds than Keaton Wagler, Braden Burris, Nate Ament, Kingston Flemings, Morez Johnson Jr. So the bookies like Yaxel, and they think that it's going to possibly produce great things for the Warriors. I think his age plays a part in him being favored. And let's start there, Rick. What are your thoughts on Yaxel Foley?
You know how I feel about this stuff. All this stuff is bullshit. I mean, seriously, what a player did playing in college has no bearing on what he's going to do in the pros. Okay? I mean, yeah, okay, maybe some guys you think they have a little better shot, but there's no guarantees that they're going to be. It's a different game. It's such a different game. And the guys that make I actually like Yaxel from the standpoint of I think he is more ready to play in the NBA than the majority of the guys that you just named because of his age and his experience and the way that he played. Okay, he's a double-double guy. Okay, he should be a guy that's a double-double guy, plays good defense, can shoot, got a nice little shot, can pass the ball, can turn himself into a really nice player for the Warriors for a long haul. But he's not a player that you're going to build your team around. He's not that kind of player. He's not a franchise-making player, but he could be a very large contributing factor to a team's success without question. That's where I see him getting it. He kind of fits in. Well, it wasn't quite like Mike Dunleavy Jr., who was picked at 2 or 3. I think he was.
Yeah, 3rd. Yeah,
and and he was a really good, solid, all-around player. Had a terrific career, but he was never a guy you're going to build your team around. Okay, at 7, you can live with that a little bit more because there's usually not 5, 6, 7 guys in the first 8 picks that are going to be franchise players every year. Right? So, so I see Yaxel having a really good, nice career, kind of like a Mike Dunleavy.
Well, and my one question to you, sir, I don't know how closely you were paying attention. Was there another player on the board that you think, in hindsight, the Warriors should have selected? Were you happy with the pick?
I don't follow it that closely because of why I'm talking about it right now. I don't care what he did there. And if I was really scouting and doing stuff, I would be able to watch a kid go play, and I'd give you an evaluation. If I can watch a guy for 1 game, I just need to watch a guy play 1 game, and I could tell you whether or not I would even be willing to draft him. Yaxel, I saw what he does. I like his game. Okay, so I think it's a good pick. Were there better picks? I don't know because I didn't follow it that closely. It was not that I'm doing the broadcasting, so I would follow it so closely that I would have an evaluation of every guy. But if I were, I would take one of these players. I would have watched him in a game, and I would have made a quick evaluation of each one, all the top 8 picks or the top 10 guys, and been able to tell you what I think about them. And whether somebody's there. I don't know if there's anybody there that is like a lock. Not like a LeBron James. When I saw him in high school, I said, "Oh, this guy." Like when I saw Kevin Durant play, I said, "This guy's going to be a hell of a player." I mean, there wasn't anybody I saw in the playoffs and doing stuff that I was like blown away. The same way they're coming. Like, I mean, I thought Boozer didn't particularly have a great, postseason thing. I mean, he wasn't that consistent. I mean,
right.
Obviously he comes from good bloodlines. His dad was a hell of a player for a long time, and he's going to be should be a very serviceable player. But I don't know if there's anybody there that you're just going to say going to be the next big star.
Yeah, that deep in the draft, it's hard. Kobe Bryant's one of those rare exceptions where he was picked 13, and you kind of knew right off the bat he was going to be a mega star, but he was also so young. He was still 17 years old when he was drafted, and but you're right. At that point in the draft, it's very hard to nail a superstar, especially a draft like this that was so top heavy. I want to ask you because Michigan head coach Dusty May is the new head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, and he selected Morez Johnson Jr. first, ahead of Yaxel and ahead of Adai Mara, who was selected right after Yaxel. The 3 Michigan bigs were all lottery picks, and it begs the question: college coaches, do they translate to the NBA? And I'd love to pick your brain on that, and we'll follow up with an answer after we give some love to our other sponsor, and that's Sunrun. And we'll make this very short and sweet because the messaging does not need to be in detail to make you understand why saving money with solar is important. Sunrun represents over 42% of all homes in the U.S. that are powered by solar. Easily the number 1 solar company, now part of Tesla. And for the first 6 months, not only are there no upfront costs if you decide to make the wise selection and power your home with Sunrun, but for the first 6 months, there is no cost to even pay for the leasing of the panels or of the battery. So it's $1 a month for the first 6 months. Then whatever you're paying after that is still far less than what you're paying for your electricity bill, courtesy of whatever shiesty company is ripping you off, whether that's PG&E. I don't know what the company is in Colorado that charges you for electricity, but wherever you are, You can save a ton of money. You could also keep your rate flat. You never have to worry about these companies ripping you off by increasing rates arbitrarily. Flat rate. You're locked in. You're saving money. You also get $500 in your pocket for all new customers simply by partnering with that link. Click on the QR code right there or click on the link in our description. Sunrun. It boosts the value of your home, put money in your pocket, save money monthly. I dare you to come up with a reason to not proceed and become a partner with Sunrun. Be a solar-powered Golden Dazer. Be a Sunrun-powered Golden Dazer. And Rick, speaking of power, Dusty May has power with the Dallas Mavericks. We've seen this in history. Rick Pitino is a prime example. Calipari briefly coached in the NBA. College coaches to the NBA level, it doesn't translate typically to success. Billy Donovan is another one. He had some success, never won a championship, though. His Bulls tenure had mixed results. Rick, what is your opinion on college coaches making the transition to the NBA?
They're going for the money. Why would you not do that? Seriously,
fair.
You're making, and now you're making great money even in college, right? I mean, this is life-changing money even in college. And then you're going to get offered just insane money to go to the pros and get probably a minimum of a 3-year deal. Some of them might negotiate 5, but the team gives somebody 5, they're out of their mind. But 3-year deal for stupid money, knowing full well that if you suck, which most of them do, you can always go back because there's a college you'll take you immediately. You have nothing to lose. This is one of the great situations to be in life, as in a job situation in sports, is to be a successful college coach in basketball or maybe others, but certainly in basketball, to go and take a job in the pros, to know full well that if it doesn't work out, you're going to get paid off and you're going to be able to go back and coach in college again and get a lot of money there. I mean, why would you not? Seriously.
Rick,
and then I would rather spend the winters in Dallas than in Michigan.
That too. When did this stupid money start with coaches? It's been there as long as I can remember. I don't understand why.
I remember Kevin Walker years ago telling me when he left this, he was, an outstanding player for years with in the NBA, and he went to coaching. He said, "Rick, why in the world should coaches not be making crazy money? We're having to deal with in coaching multi-million-dollar players. We certainly should be entitled to make more money." And so they finally started to do it. And as what happens in sports, not only did they overpay a lot of the players, they overpay a lot of the coaches.
Well, massive overpaying. I mean, the dollar amounts that they give to these coaches, it's so absurd. Like this new Portland Trailblazers ownership, I forgot the guy's name, but he's been getting a bad rap off the bat for being cheap, right? He decided not to pay for certain members of the team, to pay for an extended checkout. There was, a time lap between when the team was getting out of their hotel rooms and when they had to get to the arena. And usually players just stay in their room and they pay for a late fee. Well, the Blazers owner comes in and goes, "No, we're good on that." He decided not to play for the travel of two-way players and a lot of the players' family members when the Blazers were in the play-in this upcoming season. He's finding weird ways to cut corners, and that also includes coaching. And he eventually hired the Minnesota Timberwolves assistant, Mickey something, I forgot his name. We don't know what the dollar amount for that is. Something tells me he did not come out, filthy rich like some of these other head coaches do. But I agree with this Blazers owner when it comes to paying coaches. I don't get it. I really don't understand why someone whose main job is you play now, you come out now. Like that's worth like 5, 10 in Steve Kerr's case, 18 million a year. Like I've never understood that. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think so. I can't believe what they pay the players.
That too.
Seriously. I mean, I was a player. I mean, it's beyond my comprehension. How I know I've seen it. It's happened, but I never in my wildest dreams ever would have thought that a player would get paid that kind of money to play basketball for an NBA season, and a coach would get paid that much money to coach a basketball team. It's just, hey, God bless them. I mean, that's just sad. I just wish the hell that I was born earlier. And I know,
or later. You mean later?
Anybody gets the genie, and the genie says that you can have 3 wishes and you can't ask for money. I got it for you. You could take one of those wishes and make Rick Barry 30 years old again. Let me get a contract. I'll split my contract with you. There's plenty for both of us. Although, unfortunately, in my case, you're going to have to use 2 of them. You have to use 2 wishes if you don't want to get money. That's money there for you, though. Come on. I'm talking about, come on. It's going to be 5-year contract for somewhere between the $300 to $400 million. You could take 150 to 200 million, couldn't you? Right? And isn't it worth it to give up a second wish? You can still have one left, and the second wish is you got to make my wife 28 years old again.
Same person, just younger. But I at least understand the player part of it a little bit, because they're the product. They're the one on the court entertaining us. Some of these dudes are so special. They're blowing us out of our seats. Jalen Brunson, a prime example. His performance this past postseason and his career has just been illustrious and fantastic. I kind of get it with the players. Like, Rick, if you were born later and you were making 50 plus million a season, to me, that's justified, because you are, again, the focus. Like, you're the reason people are spending money on the tickets.
Somebody would be willing to pay me that much money. I mean, I never thought about the money when I played. I played because I loved the game. I mean, when I was my first year, I negotiated $12,500 offer as the second player picked in the draft, up to $15,000, and got a $3,000 signing bonus. And I was making $18,000, and I thought I died and went to heaven.
You're flying coach.
It wasn't a guaranteed contract.
You were flying coach. You were washing your jersey in the shower.
No, we had roommates. We stayed in rat hotels. I mean, and we had to wash our own uniforms in the shower after games. It was a different world.
Very different world that never stops changing, and usually for the worse, not the better. That's the unfortunate part. But nonetheless, thankfully, Rick, you're at least here to tell us about your experience and
have a real awakening, a rude awakening.
So going back to the Warriors, so they draft Yaxel Lendeborg, and then they have a second pick that they use on this player named Lajae Jones, which they drafted with the 54th selection. He played at Florida State and the St. Bonaventure and Tarleton State before that. It's becoming very normal, Rick, for these player bios to have multiple schools now. That used to be an anomaly. Now that's like the norm, I feel like.
Go to schools now. I mean, the music stops, you change, you get another
Exactly. And Lajae Jones, he's going to wear number 25. Yaxel Foley, by the way, going to wear number 1. That's going to be his official number. But look, the guy, second round picks, guys like this, to me, it's impossible to tell if their game's going to translate to the NBA.
How big is he?
Well, that's what I was trying to find here. The press release states he's 6'7", and I read somewhere else that he has a very nice wingspan, although I don't have that exact number in front of me right now. I guess I could look it up real fast. But 6'7" wing, who averaged 10.7 points per game and 5.2 rebounds per game.
Wow, 10.7 points. Okay. I'm excited.
There we go.
These guys, I hope these guys really do appreciate how fortunate they are. And thank God every night that we have such wonderful fans in this country that love this sport so much that they're willing to pay money to go and watch these guys play, and that these guys can get paid the kind of money they're getting paid, and they're really not that great. A lot of them are not real good players. I mean, they're gifted. There's no question about it. But I mean, as far as really understanding and knowing how to play the game, man, it's I don't understand that. I really don't. I mean,
I don't either.
In a way, like these owners, I mean, giving away that kind of money, I just why? I mean, why would you want to pay that kind of money? Anyway, it was even worse years ago when they finally got to the point where they had the salary cap put in. I mean, God, they were paying the guys. What's the one guy that he made $70 million? He got as a rookie doing it. What the hell? You got to be kidding me. At least that they took that a little bit under control. That what's the most you can make? Like I think 12 to 15 million.
Yeah, it's like 15, I think, for a number 1 pick, and then it's a scale after that. Yeah, the rookie scale was implemented kind of
5 million, some bullshit. I mean, it's like anyway. These guys are
I love it. Real quick though, Dusty May, your thoughts on him as head coach of the Mavericks? Is that going to translate following a championship at Michigan?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends upon all the personnel that they have. I mean, he got to handpick his guys. He picked 5 guys as starters, all came out of the portal. And he was smart enough to pick guys that all had experience, that were older players, so they're a little mature. And that certainly helped him a lot. I mean, Yaxel is one of them. I mean, so 24 years old, right? I think he's 24.
Correct. Or he will be. Yeah, he'll be 24 next year. Yeah, so, for this upcoming season.
Right. So, but I don't know. It depends.
Right.
So, no, I'm just saying, I would say he has a chance if he understands and gets a grasp for the game, the NBA game, and the way it's played, but to utilize like he did. He obviously utilized the guys that he picked in a very good fashion to get them to the championship. So how well are you going to take the players you have, be able to evaluate who you have, what their skills are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and to put in especially an offensive system, not a system, put in an offense in. It shouldn't be an offense that's going to utilize their talents to their fullest. And that's the biggest problem, is that they mismanaged the players. Football goes more towards a system coach, that he has his system of how to play, and they draft to fill the spots to play in that system. And if you don't do that, and you just pick players, like a lot of guys get caught up and they pick the best athlete and doing something, he doesn't necessarily fit into the system if a coach is a system coach. And I've seen that happen over the years. A guy leaves, goes someplace else, and people say, oh my God, look at how good he is. Well, first of all, it was really interesting to see after the playoffs, Jason Brunson, clips of all of the people like Stephen A. Smith and all these other guys who are the head talking heads that follow the NBA, and what they had to say about Brunson when he got traded he went to the Knicks, how they didn't think he was going to be a big deal. He's not the guy to do it, and how wrong they all were.
And Becky Hammond too, who's not necessarily a talking head, but she was wrong as well. She had a strong opinion a few years back saying that a guy like Jalen Brunson cannot be the 1A, meaning your alpha on a team that wins a championship. She called Stephen Curry an anomaly to that rule, largely because of his shooting. But and she was proven wrong. And you're right, the talking heads and Becky Hammond, they both missed the mark on that front. Jalen Brunson, congratulations to him. We're going to go back to the draft in just a second, because there was a little clip that came out. We showed this on the last show of Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Joe Lacob. I don't know how you describe it, other than Joe Lacob seemed a little flustered toward the end of this conversation as Mike Dunleavy Jr. is on his phone. Did you get a chance to see that?
No, I didn't.
So Dunleavy was asked about it. Let's just play it now. Screw it. And Mike Dunleavy Jr. met the press after the draft concluded. By the way, Yaxel Foley, aka Yaxel Lendeborg, turns 24 on September 30th. That is his birthday. But Mike Dunleavy Jr. and again, Joe Lacob, we saw his hands basically just go like this. Like he just was like flustered, seemed annoyed at whatever Mike Dunleavy Jr. was telling him. It is interesting to note as well, Rick. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the draft. I'm guessing not, because you didn't see that clip. Correct if I'm wrong on that. But what was peculiar to me with the Warriors pick is the amount of time that elapsed between the time they were on the clock and the time they actually made the selection. Each of these teams have a 5-minute window to make their pick. And when it came time to the Warriors, they took their sweet ass time. Yeah, that's the sounder. And so the cameras were in the Warriors draft room, and it shows Dunleavy on the phone, and it shows Lacob having a conversation with him during this time span. And then you see Lacob toward the end and go, oh, like he just like kind of just exasperated. So here is Dunleavy. He was asked about that moment, and I thought it was a little revealing, his answer. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know if he's trying to mislead, and this is not the case. But Mike did reveal some reasoning behind whatever was going on there with him and Joe. Here is General Manager. Let me get the volume up. Mike Dunleavy Jr.
The draft camera showed you guys right before the pick, and it definitely looked like it was a little animated there with you and Joe. I'm not trying to read into anything. Was there some things going on right as you were making that pick?
Yeah, we got into it about the best golf course in San Francisco, and he didn't agree with me, which, all in the eye of the beholder. But no, I mean, the other guy that you brought up and the other players. So I felt like once we got to 9, 10, 11, we were going to be anxious to see who falls there. But we felt like at 11, no matter what happened, we were going to get a player. So as far as the discussion with Joe and I, yeah, I mean, I think at that point, there's probably some talks about trades and things like that. But ultimately, we were all in agreement to land on taking Yaxel. And I think Joe was like, come on, just let's go ahead and pick the guy. And I said, Joe, we have time. They give you 5 minutes. And so he was just getting a little anxious about us taking Yaxel. And the good thing was, because we were on the clock, nobody could swoop in and take him ahead of us. So I was willing to be patient about it.
And this wasn't the first time, Rick, that Joe Lacob has expressed emotions with the draft. Infamously back in 2021, when the Sacramento Kings, or was it the Pacers, whoever it was that had one pick before the Warriors' 14th selection, they selected Chris Duarte, and Joe Lacob, wearing his emotions on his sleeve, was pissed. And it was clearly obvious he wanted Chris Duarte. In this instance, it looks like the Warriors, maybe Joe Lacob wanted the team to do a trade. Who knows what's going on? But any interesting reaction to that? Or any reaction to that? Not even interesting.
My only feeling is that you had all this time leading up to it. You know when you were picking. And as soon as the last person, you should have had your list of who do you want, and it's there. And so if this guy gets picked for them, that just checked off. So how difficult would it be that you really weren't, they didn't seem like maybe were they that certain that this is who they were going to take at that position, that when they got to it, was there somebody else that they had listed first ahead of them? You know, in what order? So here we are. You're going to look through this thing. You're going to figure everybody else is going. So you're going to have a group of players, at least 4 players probably. They say, okay, more than likely of these 4 players, they're going to somebody's going to be available here. Let's put them in the order that we want them and list those guys. And if guy number 1 that you have is taken by somebody ahead of you, cross him off the list. And the next guy, then the next guy. You know, so and maybe even go deeper, maybe go 5 or 6 guys that you'll think would be in that situation. And as they get picked ahead of you, cross them off in the order in which you wanted them. And then when you get to the point, if your guy is still there and you have the pick, why would it take 5 minutes to go ahead and tell them who you're picking?
And the fact that Mike was on the phone while this was happening, and then he alluded to possibly a trade and that attribution there, something tells me what went down is Mike was on the phone with another team who maybe was making a trade proposal. I don't know what Joe ultimately wanted in that scenario. Another thing that's worth noting is Braden Burris, who I believe was very high, maybe atop the Warriors draft board. I read one story that Braden Burris was number 2 overall, meaning like if the Warriors had the top pick in the draft, I forgot who wrote this story. I don't know if it was Monty Poole or somebody that Cam Boozer was number 1 on the Warriors wish list, followed by Braden Burris and then Yaxel Lendeborg. This is regardless of where the Warriors are drafting. That's what the story said, which seems kind of crazy in hindsight. But Braden Burris was picked 10th. The Warriors had the 11th pick. Worth noting, OKC had picks 12 and 17 following the Warriors. So who knows if the Warriors were on the phone with them, possibly to trade down. Who knows? But Lendeborg is the eventual selection.
Variables, so many things that go on that we're not privy to, and we have no idea. I'm just saying, unless there were other potential trades and things being talked about, if I were there, would have had my list.
Yes,
I said I'd have 6 guys that I think more than likely these guys, somebody of these 6 is going to be available to us. Let's put them in the order that we want them. And then as they get picked ahead of us, you cross them off, you cross them off, you cross them off. And that's the order that you want them. And so if the guy that's still there at the top of at that list and it's not crossed off, that's who you take.
Yeah.
Simple. Doesn't seem very complicated, but
no, it's not, because it's not. There's nothing complicated about it at all. So you're absolutely right.
Plays are being made. I mean, come on, but Giannis
now, one Warriors player who we're all wondering what's going to happen, if anything, is Jimmy Butler, the Warriors star player who sadly tore his ACL back, I believe, in January. I believe that's when the injury happened. And it's, torn ACL, one of the most serious injuries an athlete can suffer. I'd say Achilles maybe is a step above, but that's your 1-2, I think. I'm sure there's a few others. Maybe like your quad tendon rupturing, something like that. There's a few very serious injuries that keep you out for a damn long time. Moses Moody, torn patella tendon. That's a very serious one. Jimmy Butler, torn ACL. That's a serious one. Well, Jimmy Butler was with the owner of the Warriors, Joe Lacob, today. This was an event introducing a new sponsor. It's going to be a jersey patch. I think this indicates that Rakuten, which has been on the Warriors jersey pretty much since they got to Chase Center, is out. I don't know. I forgot who the new company is. I think they're called Iren. Don't ask me what the hell they do. Just another tech company. And Jimmy Butler was at this event. And Jimmy Butler was taking questions after they were done speaking. I'm going to play the soundbite real fast because he provided an update on his ACL injury. And then, Rick, I'd love to get your feedback and reaction to a player of Jimmy Butler's stature dealing with an injury like this and how soon he can come back. Well, let's hear from Jimmy first. Here he is as we await the Warriors' decision to trade him this offseason, keep him, and wait until January, February. Whatever happens, let's hear from Jimmy Butler regarding his recovering torn ACL in the right knee.
Feeling where you kind of at in this?
I'm good. I'm in the thick of it. I'm glad to be up here in the Bay Area. I'm not even gonna stunt. Just like my home away from home now, but this rehab's tough. I'm not even gonna lie. You're doing so much work, knowing you still got so much more work to do to get back to where you want to be. But it's a process. It's a grind. It's nothing new, but at the same time, it's very new. But I look forward to getting back to the court.
Harder than you thought it was going to be?
Not harder than I thought. Tedious, yes. Mentally frustrating, very much so. Definitely not harder than I thought. It's just, it's like life is different right now. There are things I used to be able to do that I can't do right now. Like, I actually can't dunk a basketball if I jump off my left leg.
Right now?
I can't. I just can't land on my right. I haven't tried it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can still dunk a basketball. But like if I wanted to jump off 2 feet, can't do that yet. So a little bit has changed.
Okay.
Play dominoes, sit in the chair and beat Adam Harrington at horse. I can dribble. I can actually shoot a three sitting down in that chair. And then I get to watch my kids run around. To run? It's weird because we're sitting here talking about AI and all of this stuff. They really do be showing like where you're supposed to be in a progressive way with this AI and this computing and all of this stuff. I would hope, maybe not. For me, a month and a half, maybe, probably. I would hope that's the goal. That's probably what they're going to show me when I get back down there. But we've been making some incredible progress. I'm actually very happy. It's just like I want it to happen quickly.
Jimmy Butler. Look, I've never seen an NBA player come back quicker than 11 months, a year. An ACL injury, usually you're out for a year. Jimmy is not running yet. I think he said at the end of that clip it's going to be a month and a half, 2 months before he starts running. He claims he can dunk, but he can't land yet. Ultimately, this injury is very serious. And I think expecting him to come back anytime before January is foolhardy. That's just me. Rick, what are your thoughts on Jimmy Butler following those comments?
Yeah, first of all, the last thing he wants to do is rush it and push it.
Yes.
Having rehab myself, not having as severe an injury as he had. The worst thing you can do is to go too hard because you could take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And there's too much at stake to do that. And for the Warriors standpoint, they should not be pushing him. And they got their experts and the people who are there working with him on his rehab. They know where he is. Like he said, they have AI, they have different things and there are different levels. He's being tested all the time. And as long as he's progressing along the way that they feel is positive, that's what they should continue to do. And I would agree with you. I would think that if you could get him back at the beginning of next year, come January, February, that would be great. And see what happens from then. Because even if he's able to work hard, it's going to still take a time to get back into playing NBA basketball and be in the kind of condition you need to be to play NBA basketball and play 30 minutes or so a game. So, but what I did get from it is that I didn't see in his body language and listening to his voice, I think he's okay with the way things are going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that it's a situation that he's really overly concerned that he's not going to get back, which is a good thing because your mental approach to life when you're overcoming situations like this is very important. So overall, I would say, but the thing is that they have to worry about what type of team are they going to put together to try to get him to be one of the contenders before Jimmy Butler comes back.
Well, that's what's on my mind, Rick. It's like Jimmy's not going to be back realistically till January, most likely, maybe even later than that. I don't know if you've studied the roster, and the picture is going to be a lot clearer in 4 days, 4 or 5 days. January 30th is when you can start negotiating with free agents, and that also represents the date.
June 30th or July 30th?
What did I say? June. I meant June. I'm sorry. June 30th is when you can start negotiating with free agents, and then you can put pen to paper a week later. But the negotiations, the communication can all start on June 30th, and usually leaks are all over the place. You get a good idea of who's going where during this time span. Maybe most equally important for the Warriors, though, Rick, you find out when some of these players that have player options and or team options on their contract, those decisions have to be made by June 29th. And that's about three days from now. DeAnthony Melton is the most prolific player that we're looking at. He has a player option for next season for $3.5 million that has not been decided yet. We'll talk about Al Horford in a second because that's no longer in dispute. He doesn't even have a player option. He has a 2-year guaranteed deal, which is insane. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But Rick, I'm looking at this roster, and there are so many holes. Like, this team is lacking in so many departments that I don't understand what the plan is. And if you keep Jimmy Butler, that's another huge hole on your roster through January. But if he's making appearances at corporate events like this, makes me, question whether they're going to trade him. I don't think they're going to move from him. If the owner of the team is inviting you to these events, that usually is a clear-cut sign. Like, you're not going anywhere. You're in the owner's good graces. I could be misreading that entirely, but that's my interpretation of things. So I don't know what this Warriors club does between now and January, February to try and be successful. I guess what I'm trying to say ultimately, Rick, is my deep worry with this team, the way it's constructed, by the time Jimmy Butler comes back, the season could be over. They could be so far in the hole, like there's no coming back from this. And I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, well, I'm with you. It's a big conundrum, really. I mean, they don't know where they are as far as all the other players, what they're going to do with Melton and everything. They have to make some very important decisions. They have to decide, who it is that they're going to bring in, because now it seems as though, and this is why the success of San Antonio for years and the Lakers for years, with their both general managers, God rest his soul, my good friend Jerry West, he did such a great job as a general manager there, bringing in the right people. Same thing with R.C. Buford down in San Antonio. They kept bringing in the right people to kind of keep things together. That's going to be the critical element. Who are they going to bring in? Hopefully they can bring some people in that will be given an opportunity that maybe they didn't have before, that will all of a sudden get to play at a level that people say, well, I didn't realize he could be that good. And so they got to get kind of lucky in that regard. So it's going to be major decisions on their part as to who they're going to bring in, because right now, you say, it's kind of like, it's not like Munster cheese. It's more like Swiss cheese.
And this is a very old team.
A lot of holes.
And which leads to this next topic, Rick, if you don't mind us touching on it, which is Al Horford. It came out today that the Golden State Warriors unnecessarily decided to give Al Horford a new 2-year contract, entirely guaranteed, worth $14 million. Al Horford is already 40 years of age. He turned 40 June 3rd. So he's going to be well into his 40s by the time that the season starts. He was due a player option for approximately $6 million. And who knows if he told the Warriors, I'm going to get out of this. I have interest from other teams. And maybe that was enough to scare the Warriors into giving him a new 2-year deal. But Al Horford this past season played just 45 games. When he played, his 3-point shooting was okay. He shot 36.1%, averaged 8.3 points, 4.9 rebounds per game. Rick, we were doing shows leading up to that play-in game against the Clippers, and you saw how concerned I was that the Warriors winning that game was such a short-term success, long-term disaster. And all my Warriors seem to be coming to fruition. That game led to Steve Kerr changing his mind about retirement. That game led to the Warriors doubling down on a 40-year-old Al Horford. I feel like that one win basically pushed back any thoughts of rebuilding for at least a couple more years. That game to me was a disaster, is what I'm trying to say. And this Al Horford signing represents that. If you were the GM of a team, would you give a 40-year-old player $14 million for 2 years? Maybe I'm the one being crazy here, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Well, I'd probably get in trouble with Horford will be mad at me, but no. No, I mean, there's got to be, you can't tell me that there's not some young person out there that you can see potential in to give him an opportunity to be able to do what Al Horford is going to do for them, who is in his 20s, who's half the age, a little, not quite half the age of Horford, a little bit more than that. I mean, there's got to be. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that can still play that just don't get the chance. And I mean, you got to go beat the Bushers or do something, and you get them for a whole lot less. And you go get a couple of players and bring them in and hope that, just like even the Warriors, like we had the two-headed monster in Clifford and George, right?
Right.
We didn't have one guy. I mean, we had the finesse of George and blocking the shots and everything. And Clifford go out and beat the hell out of people if you needed him to do that. And why not bring in a lot less money, two younger guys who you really looked at and watched and said, well, wait a second, maybe this guy here could, maybe he could do something for us. Especially if you're dealing with a guy who could get hurt at 40-something years of age. I'm just trying to be honest with him. I'm not trying to put down what Mike's decision was, whatever they have their reasons, who knows. But if I had to make the choice, I would not do that. I wouldn't spend $14 million on a 40-year-old when there's so many players out there that are on rosters that maybe have the potential of becoming, or at least giving you those kinds of numbers. I mean, even if you got two other guys, I mean, you got 18 freaking guys they got now. I mean, go get two guys for a lot less that are there and, play them in and out, whatever. And I think you can still get that kind of production from them without the experience, obviously, but even some of them might have some experience. That's just my thought.
No, I think it's a very valid thought. I also don't think Al Horford's going to give a shit because he got his money. Like, who cares at this point, right? It's guaranteed. I
can't believe when you told me that it was $14 million, I almost fell out of my chair.
Well, and guaranteed. I thought maybe there would be a player option next year. I thought maybe the Warriors, like, this makes no sense to me. I'm confused about this.
I hope it doesn't come back to bite them and all. But I say, you can't tell me that you can't find two other guys, maybe even three other guys that you can bring in.
Yeah,
who are size-wise that, somebody might develop into somebody that could be halfway decent for you for a lot longer period of time, who's 10 years or more. I mean, well, hell, yeah, at least 10 years or more younger. Yeah, I mean, wow.
A huge wow. And here we are. At least if there's any good news, it's that a roster spot's filled. And when Al is healthy, clearly, like, he contributes. And the spacing he provides, the clutch shooting is huge. But 40 years old, I mean.
Yeah, but there's other guys who can shoot 36%. There are other guys that are a lot younger. I mean, he only played 5 games. I mean, I mean, 14 million is a lot of money. I mean,
it is
a lot of guys. I mean, they would be thrilled to come play for like 3 million. So you can get 3-4 guys that'll come and play for this 14, 7 million a year. So that's so you get somebody, you can get a couple of guys, at least 2 guys, $3.5 million each, Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. 2 veteran minimums but here we are. Rick, I've never gone to the mailbag with you on the show. Would you mind? I got an email that was written strictly for you, sir. Do you mind if we open the mailbag up?
Go ahead.
Beautiful. And I have a hole open for it. So let me hit the little billboard here, and then we'll open the mailbag.
Letters. We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
All right, this email, sir, comes from Sammy in Fremont, who writes, "Hey, Cy, first time caller, long time listener." I don't know why that always makes me laugh when people say that. That's like an old school line in radio. First time caller, long time listener. I know this email is for Rick Barry if he comes on. I know Rick and Bill Simmons have a tenuous relationship.
I don't have a relationship with him.
This is what he wrote. So Bill on his show the other day was talking about teammates who couldn't make it work. And Bill brought up Rick Barry and Jamal Wilkes and said in this segment, we never found out what happened there. Hasn't Rick said on your show countless times why Jamal Wilkes left the Warriors? Did it not have something to do with the owner and his wife? Love the show, Sammy.
I have actually no idea why Jamal left, but Jamal and I have a great relationship. We get along terrifically. I never had an issue with Jamal Wilkes. That's Bill Simmons. He's such an ass. I mean,
yes,
for the guy to call me a dick in his book, I mean, that's
yes,
just beyond professionalism. I mean, he's ashamed of himself. And if I ever did see him in person, if he doesn't come up to me and apologize for that, I will lose. Well, I already lost all respect for him as a professional journalist anyway. Yeah, I'm so sick of that. I'm just sick of all these people talking about how all my teammates hated me. I was the worst person in the world. I'm not a bad person. I know who I am. Now, I might have been difficult at times doing stuff, but I never personally attacked anybody. I'm not who I'm portrayed to be, who a lot of people think I am. In fact, somebody just sent me something about me. It was very nice and complimentary in a lot of ways, saying what some of the other great players said about me, even though it was just them saying what they said, but not video of them actually saying it. But the whole thing about it is, Rick Barry was so difficult to get along with. Nobody really liked him. He was this, that, he was that. I don't think that's true. I mean, maybe to somebody that didn't like me, whatever, it's fine. But Bill Simmons is at the top of the list of guys that keep doing this. I need to bring up something. I had nothing to do with Jamal leaving. I don't know why Jamal left. I mean, I certainly didn't have anything to do with it. So
no, I don't. That's not what the email said. But it. I thought you've been on this show in the past and said that it has something to do with like the owner his wife didn't like him or
Butch Beard. It was Butch Beard who got traded because the general manager at the time, Dick Vertley, God rest his soul, didn't want to deal because his wife would come in and bitch all the time to him.
So it was Butch Beard. Okay. I thought that was Jamal. So Jamal Wilkes was traded following the title season, correct?
Yeah. Why he won? I don't know why they did a lot of things.
Okay.
I mean, that's the same. You talk about the decisions that were made. Trading Butch Beard was the worst decision that we could have made, even though we had a terrific record and we did stuff. I mean, Butch. Yeah, I think trading Butch hurt us without question.
I also thought it was weird that Simmons said it was a pairing that didn't work out. You guys won a title.
A pairing that didn't work out. I mean, Jamal and I played well together.
You won a championship. How does that not work?
We're still close. We still stay in touch with each other. In fact, all of my teammates, we love being together. When the Warriors brought us in for the 50th anniversary, that was just wonderful that they did that. We just really enjoyed our time together. We were appreciative of the fact that they brought us in. It was very nice of them to do that. They didn't have to do that, but that was good.
Rick, here's a theory I have for why perhaps some people have slandered you over the years, and I call it slander because I've seen some of these words and they're so not true. And I hope you're okay with me fighting for you, sir, because I do. I know you very well, and everything I've ever read from that's negative is just completely untrue. And here's my theory, and let me know if you agree or disagree with this, or maybe you have another thought to add to it. Groupthink is prevalent in media, especially sports media. And what I mean by that is it's a very it's an echo chamber of sorts. These people are very out of touch, most of them, where they basically just befriend each other. They're mostly talking to each other. And what I've seen from my own experience is when one media member has an opinion, usually like the others just rally around that opinion and they all seem to come to a consensus that that's what reality is, even when it isn't. And something tells me that maybe you just rubbed one person the wrong way.
I rubbed a lot of guys the wrong way. Trust me. No, trust me. Because why? Because I was brutally honest. Like my wife said, honey, you're the most honest person I've ever met in my life. But you're brutally honest. You got to get the brutality out of your honesty. But I'm sorry, I have to tell the truth. I've always brought up to tell the truth.
Yes.
And so you try to, I try to do it in a much better way. And but and I've learned now in my age. In fact, the other day I told my wife, honey, you've been so proud of me because I was thinking something, but I didn't say it. I put the filter in. Okay, so she said, what goes into your brain doesn't necessarily have to come out of your mouth. And so this is why I'm very cautious now before I say things. If I take a moment, it's because I'm running it through the filter. Should I really say this? Okay, well, how much trouble am I going to get in about this? Or no, this needs to be said. Just like when I talk about the physicality thing, that needs to be said. I mean, I'm not a shill. It's like these guys that are doing the broadcast now are shills.
Yes.
I mean, you're getting paid bull. You're not going to blow smoke. There's good things and bad things that happen in life. And on a basketball court, there's good things and bad things that happen. You don't just go out there and talk about all the good things and ignore the bad things. So what I learned when I was doing it finally, but it cost me my job, is that you accentuate the positive, okay? But you can't ignore the negative, okay? My case, I tended to give them almost a 50-50, so that probably didn't work real well. But so, yeah, and if something happened, it does happen. With Gus Williams, I said something to Gus Williams at the game in New York one time, and I didn't find out till years later because the coach didn't. Nobody came up and told me, man, Gus was really, really upset with what you said to him in the game. I mean, if I had known that, the first thing I would have done, I would have gotten up, and I did it later when he was playing with the Sonics. I went up, I was broadcasting the game, and I went up to him. I just found out about it. This is years later. Gus, I really want to apologize to you. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, no. I said, I found out just now how you upset you were with me when I yelled at you at the game in Madison Square Garden about being so blankety blank stupid in a play that did something after we just were told not to do that. I said, Gus, when I said that, it wasn't you personally. It was done. It was a situation in the game. When I got done with it, it was over. I never felt anything bad towards you. And I said, I would have apologized to you right after the game if I had known that. I said, so I'm apologizing to you now. I never in my life have intentionally tried to hurt somebody.
Of course.
I said
to me, and Rick, let me know if you think this is accurate or not. But and I think you knew his dad pretty well. But you and Kobe Bryant to me are very similar in terms of personality, your commitment to winning, and that does rub some people the wrong way in a world where a lot of people are easily offended. A lot of people have very thin skins. Some people just have this idea of how the world should operate, and that includes just everyone being overly friendly and nice to each other. The truth be damned, and this always goes back to Jack.
You can't handle the truth.
People just can't handle the truth sometimes, and to me, the problem is on them. That's your problem. Learn to handle the truth, because the truth isn't always friendly. It's not always positive. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth sucks. Welcome to reality. But I feel like you and Kobe had this very similar drive for greatness. Am I being somewhat?
No, we did. I love Kobe. I got to know Kobe. I had great respect for him. I was one of his biggest, staunchest, defenders. People talk about him being selfish and this. And I said, no. I mean, he's just trying to win.
And he loved you, by the way. When you were on KNBR, he was a 2-hour guest. That was your producer that day. Yeah. I still love the fact that I just talked to Kobe on the phone every commercial break.
Yeah, Kobe was great. And it's what is tragic. But anyway,
yeah.
No, that's the problem, is that people read stuff, and all this stuff keeps coming up about something. Al McCoy said something after the thing that I quit. This guy really still drives me nuts to put a video out that Rick Barry quit on his teammates in the finals of the Western Conference in 1976. Are you freaking kidding me?
He's the one who fed Simmons that story. Yeah, that's why Simmons wrote it in the book. It's insane.
No, it's just ridiculous. Anyway.
Agreed.
It is what it is. I learned to try to go ahead and be like an armadillo, or like a duck, you let it roll off your back, or armadillo to protect you from getting hurt. But it hurts my feelings to do that, because I know who I am, and it's sad that so many people, and even fans, sometimes you see some things and they read it and they say, "Oh, well, Rick Barry did this and that." That's because somebody read what stupid Bill Simmons said, or somebody else said, who's never spent 5 minutes alone in their life with me, has no idea who I am as a person. And that's the type of thing that you have to be really careful about what you say. Be fair to people. I try to tell people, look, I find myself doing it, watching a sporting event, okay? If I'm watching another sport, I see a guy and I see the way he's doing, the way he's behaving, what he's doing out there. And I go, what an asshole. Then I say, whoa, wait a second. Hold on. I said, That's fine. I can have that opinion about him and what he was doing on the court. I think he's an asshole for doing that, and I'm entitled to that opinion. And that's fine. But I'm not saying he as a person is an a-hole.
Right.
I don't know him as a
Right.
person because he's in an unreal environment. Don't judge somebody as a human being in the real world based
Yes.
upon the way that he conducts himself in an unreal environment. Because I'm there for one reason and one reason only. I'm out there to kick your butt and win that game
And
without
cash some checks.
illegal to do it. Okay. And if you don't like the way I go about doing it, you're entitled to that opinion, but don't judge me as a person because I would never want to hurt somebody's feelings and do something intentional to somebody in real life.
Well, and I bring up Kobe because for much of his playing career, he did develop a reputation that I think was contrary to who he really was as a person, where people thought he might have been a bit of an a-hole, might have been a bit too abrasive. I don't know what the exact accusations were for the negatives, but all those things ultimately, when he kept winning, became a side story or eventually got pushed back in the distance.
Was on his, I've heard some of the stories of Michael, how tough he was on his teammates.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
God, I'm like a rank amateur compared to some of the other players out there and how tough they were in doing stuff. But all of a sudden, I'm this horrible ogre that it's just
no. You're not. Stop. That's not true at all.
No. That's what people think about it.
Well, whoever says that is a piece of shit.
If I was that way, I can guarantee you, there is no way we win a championship in '75.
Exactly. Striving for greatness, you can't mix feelings into it, right? It's just you had you were singularly focused on winning, which is the sole goal of playing. Which is, side note, lost in a lot of people as well. It's like you play to win. That's what competitive sports is, and you were a winner, sir. I mean, it's crazy. By the way, how was your? Is there any update on your 50th anniversary? Well, it's past 50 years now, but
trying to finalize and get this thing so it gets out there. It's so disappointing that it at least didn't get it out there to broadcast. And as I say, I heard from the guy who was from Goliath, who was one of the guys who put Goliath together, the story Will Chamberlain. Man, Rick, I think it's really good. And why we haven't been able to get it to the finalization. I've been in touch with Charles Dudley, the Hopper, and trying to help out and calling some people and trying to find a way to get somebody to broadcast this thing, because all the bullshit, I've watched some horse shit freaking documentaries about and I mean that they didn't really accomplish anything of great significance, and here we have the greatest upset in the history. I mean, I won't get into it because I think it is of all sports, but for sure there's not a greater upset in the history of NBA finals than what we pulled off. And to have no story ever done about it, it doesn't just make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And, I'm so disappointed in the NBA that Steph's production company was interested in wanting to do it, and they wouldn't allow him to do it because Steph is still a current player. I said, what the hell does that have to do with putting out a documentary about a team that he's one of the stars of and what's wrong with that?
That's news to me. That's the first time I've heard this. So Steph,
that's total BS.
And Steph is such a good dude. It doesn't surprise me that he wanted to get involved with your documentary. I'll never forget you and I sitting courtside one time and he started attempting three-pointers underhanded. That was just as an homage to you. That was phenomenal. But I did not know he wanted to get behind this documentary.
He was definitely interested in wanting to do something, and the NBA didn't allow it.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Why would you do that? I mean, my gosh. I guess
NBA's weird sometimes, right?
I guess maybe they couldn't do it. Maybe that's why Joe Lacob couldn't get involved. I mean, that's what his job, that's what his business was. He made a fortune in the movie industry and, all of that stuff in Hollywood.
Right.
So why would they not want to do something and be able to, maybe they wouldn't allow him to do it. I don't know. I don't know what the story is there, but I mean, wow. I just can't believe it. I still can't believe that it's not out there. So I'm trying to make calls and trying to find some people to get this thing, eventually get it done. I haven't seen it yet. And
that's crazy. Is George Carl your answer? Because he got his documentary.
I've talked to George. In fact, I'm in contact with George, trying to find out who the hell he talked to at the different places and try to see if I can talk to some of those people and see.
Right.
They did a really nice job with the Soul Power, and but I think this story just needs to be told.
Agreed.
So most people have no idea about what happened there. And anyway,
No. And just to remind people, the 1975 Golden State Warriors, you won Finals MVP that year. The Warriors won the title that year. Took another 40 years before Stephen Curry's 2015 Warriors hoisted the Larry O'Brien before that drought finally ended. And it wasn't just that you guys won the championship, is that you pulled off the arguably, and you have some conviction, sir. I trust you.
There is nothing close to it.
Fair enough. So I won't even say arguably the greatest upset in sports history, professional sports history.
In the 4 major sports in this country, but for sure in the NBA, there isn't anything that's even close to it. Not even reasonably close. I mean, a team that wasn't even supposed to be a playoff team. We were just we were written off.
And you swept the Bullets in the finals, and none of that was expected. Kev F brings up, what about a documentary about you? I know that's being made as well, correct?
Yeah, that's in the process of.
Okay, good.
So we'll see what happens.
So at least we need something documentary wise, because you're right. There is a massive absence. There is a void in content when it comes to the 75 Warriors. We don't know enough about it. And it's shocking to me that this thing still has not been released, even though it's supposedly completed. Rick, we only got a few minutes left here. I can't thank you enough, as always, for taking time to join me. I haven't asked your thoughts yet about the New York Knicks winning the championship. Feel-good story, the first title in 53 years. Jalen Brunson, Finals MVP, phenomenal. The only weird thing in all this, between the championship, all the partying, the celebrations, New York going crazy, I never saw Phil Jackson anywhere. And I'm pretty sure he was on one, if not both, of those Knicks title teams the last time they won. And apparently, like, no one even said anything. He just is hiding in Montana, I guess, just relaxing. Who knows? But your thoughts on the Knicks winning the title this year, because I have not heard your reaction to this yet.
Well, great respect for them as far as the resilience and their never say die attitude. And they could have given up a whole lot, especially the game where they're down 29 points.
Right.
But I was really happy for Mike Brown. I really like Mike Brown as a person, as a coach.
Yeah.
I think he did a great job, and he was the difference in the series. You know, Brunson came through. I mean, it was like, it wasn't like he shot crazy lights out and doing stuff, but he came through when he had to come through. Fantastic. I'm sure he feels really good. He kind of reminds me a little bit about, nobody expected Steph Curry to become the player he became. Nobody expected Brunson, like you just said, Becky Hammond, all these other people. Nobody thought that he was going to say, oh, what a trade Brunson. He's not the answer, blah, blah, blah. Well, without Brunson, they don't win. Okay. And so, yeah, I just thought that they did a terrific job, and they were outcoached, and the inexperience of the Spurs team definitely hurt them. I don't think that the coach, Mike, at least in his case, Mike went deep. You know, guys are struggling. You know, Karl Anthony Towns is trouble. He was willing to go down. He went deeper into his bench and brought guys in, and those guys performed at a level that helped them to win. I mean, because everybody contributed. You don't win with one person. So they had a lot of Anunoby did a great job, but there was a lot of bad decisions made on the part of the Spurs. I mean, to have leads in every game that you played of double digits and lose 4-1 that's inexcusable. I mean, just totally inexcusable. And have leads in fourth quarters in 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes to go of 12, 14, 15 points and lose. Just nuts. You know,
it is.
Having a player like Wemby, who's playing 25 feet from the freaking basket the majority of the game. I mean, my God, just stick him down on the low block. He's got a 6'4" guy guarding him, and he's out 20 feet from the basket. I mean, that doesn't make any freaking sense. So anyway, credit to the Knicks. They did what they had to do to win. I wasn't rooting for him, because I'll never be able to root for him, because they should have drafted me instead of Bill Bradley, and they didn't. And so I always have to, I'm going to root for, and the Spurs, my son played on 2 championship teams with the Spurs. And so, you know, I would have to, you know, my allegiance would go towards the support to the Spurs. And I think basically the Spurs handed the championship to them on a silver platter, but to give credit to the Knicks for taking advantage of the opportunity.
Is it fair to say that the Spurs just were a young team, inexperienced, played a huge part in this, but going to those blown leads, which was fascinating to me, because it happened in every game. Was that an issue of the Spurs simply not understanding themselves yet in terms of what you
experienced coach? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to be nasty, but his inexperience hurt him big time. I mean, he should have gone there. Come on. You got a game, you got a 29-point lead. Okay. You got one of the guys on your team. It's the guy with the French name, or whatever. I keep forgetting how you.
Wembanyama?
No, the other kid, not the French. The other kid with that was 0 for 7 from threes, and that's in that 29-point second half debacle. And you've got an experienced championship player sitting on your bench by the name of Harrison Barnes that you didn't even put into the freaking game. Why would you not put an experienced player like him in the game who has been there, who's been through that, who is a good player, and put him in to see what happens, and hopefully, give the other guy, take him out, see what Harrison can do for you. They just, and the other thing would have been, guys, we have a 15-point lead. There's only 6 minutes left to go. This is a big game for us. They said, no 3-point quick shots. They just kept jacking up 3-point shots. Use the clock. Nobody shoots unless it's under 5 seconds to go, but we're also going to attack the basket. In fact, one of the times in the second half, they had him in the penalty, right? I know they say the bonus, but it's supposed to be the penalty. In other words, they got him in foul trouble. Go to the damn basket. Put some
right.
Or it's like the Warriors when they lost to Cleveland in that fourth quarter, the last quarter of that game. Oh. And that was just 4 minutes and 20 seconds. They did nothing but shoot 3-point shots other than Iggy's breakaway layup that LeBron blocked. That was the changing in the game. They had 2 baskets scored, one 3-point shot from Kyrie Irving and 1 of 2 free throws by LeBron James. That was it for the last 40 seconds of that game. Maybe the worst 4 minutes and 40 seconds in the game 7 for the NBA. Cost the Warriors a championship. And then, of course, it was compounded because they suspended Draymond, which they never should have done. It should have been LeBron with a flagrant foul throwing him to the court. But that's a whole nother story. But the bottom line is that you can't just put the ball back. They have to have the ball. If you just had used the clock in the last 6 minutes and put a couple of points on the board, there's no way you can lose that game. That was a gift. And I'm sorry. But now here, somebody asked me, would you fire that coach? And I said, you know what? I don't think I would. And here's why. Because he's inexperienced like the players are. What I would do, I would bring him in, and I would ask him, if you were the coach, Cyrus, what did you learn through this experience in the finals?
Next time, play Dylan Harper instead of De'Aaron Fox.
Well, yeah, that's one of them. Okay,
Harrison Barnes instead of Champagny is the guy you're.
What did you learn from this experience? Because let's face it, the guys seemed to like him. They played well. They did a good job during the season. So why would you want to do that and break that up? I wouldn't want. But I would want to hear from the coach.
Yeah.
What did he learn from that experience? And if he didn't give me the right answers as to what he learned from that, I would consider changing coaches. But if he gave me the right answers, I'd give him the chance because everybody learns. He did a nice job for them during the course of the regular season, and the team seemed to like him. So why break that up? But I also, if I was a general manager, would say, hey, you got to get Wemby inside the post more. Okay, I'm sorry.
That too. You're right.
No sense whatsoever. So
the player you were thinking of, I'm guessing, Silax and Zeb Bates in the chat bringing up a Champagny, who's the
guy Champagny,
the Spurs power forward,
0 for 7 in the quarter.
And that's also, and Rick, I'm so glad you said that about Harrison Barnes. I was saying the exact same thing. Did not understand why he was rotting on the bench. He would have been, to me, the perfect, or as perfect as the scenario goes, antithesis to OG Anunoby, because Barnes is also a bigger player with experience who could have maybe neutralized that dominance a little more than what Champagny or anyone else was attempting and failing to do. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So
didn't call timeouts. I mean,
that too.
Where's your timeout at the end of the game? You got to stop what's happening there. You had to just put the brakes on a couple of times and just
100% agreed.
And yeah, that was sad. I felt sorry for him. Nice young guy, and hopefully they'll give him another shot, and hopefully he learned enough from that. But I'll tell you, if that team stays together, they're going to be a tough team for a long time.
They will. Have you been paying close attention to the offseason? Like, has any teams move so far impressed you, disappointed you?
I don't really pay any attention to that stuff. So you evaluate them when they get their players. Let's see what they do. I mean, all of this stuff is just total speculation. You know how I felt when we did the show. It's just good fodder, good talk. When you have a talk show, you're hoping all stupid stuff happens and some guy does something dumb that you can talk about, and they make us, to me, that's a waste of time. I don't have a crystal ball. If I had a crystal ball and I really knew what was happening, I'd be a multi-millionaire. Now with FanDuel, I'd be betting with FanDuel.
Yeah, absolutely. I just watched this show 11/22/63 the other day, where the premise is they go back in time to try to stop the JFK assassination, and that's how they fund themselves. This operation is they know all the results of big boxing matches, baseball games, and so they keep putting bets in to win money and sustain their operation. But you're absolutely right.
I didn't realize that FanDuel started overseas.
Yeah, that too. Rich Dub in the chat saying that your granny shot, Rick, is on Netflix. I don't know what that means exactly, but maybe the visual is just there. Who the hell knows? But Rick, it is always such a play. Well, I brought up the offseason moves because Minnesota today, and this was a stunning move.
Giannis is the big story.
That's the biggest. You're right. But today, this was an underrated, maybe like a 1B in terms of huge trades. Minnesota essentially trading away Naz Reid, Julius Randle, getting in LaMelo Ball. And that's interesting. I don't know if I would have made a move like that myself.
LaMelo Ball with the Ant-Man? I mean,
correct.
I don't know.
Correct.
There's only one ball. I mean, I'm talking about the actual ball itself that you bounce. So I'm saying now there's two balls. So we'll see what happens with that one. And I heard some other talk about bada boom, whether they would trade the Ant-Man for some reason. I don't know. I heard something about that today.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either. Giannis to Miami, any thoughts?
Well, if I'm Giannis, I'm happy, man. My winters are going to be a lot more pleasant.
Yep.
In Milwaukee. And but they gave up. Tyler Hero probably was not thrilled that he'll get a much bigger, better house up in Milwaukee than for the house he probably is going to have to sell.
He'll probably keep the house in Milwaukee.
He'll probably keep the house in Miami. Yeah,
just rent him out.
Yeah, it's a hard thing, doing that especially if you're younger and if you have a family. I mean, that's not an easy thing. It's kind of like being in the military, and all of a sudden you get shipped to another base. In another country.
Yeah, by the way, Rich Dub, following up on the visual of you shooting free throws on Netflix. Rich Dub in the chat saying it's part of Running Point season 1. Running Point has quickly become one of my favorite shows. Do you like that show too?
Yeah, that's kind of fun with Goldie Hawn's daughter.
It's silly, but it's hilarious to me.
Very, very silly, and
it is.
Very silly. Yeah, I know with the underhand, but they need to bring somebody in to at least have them shoot it technically the right way.
Right. They didn't call you this time for consulting?
No, the only one that ever called me about wanting to do it was when they did the one with
Semi-Pro, right?
Yeah, when they were talking about stuff and they had what's his face from
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell, yeah. No, Will Ferrell, but that one, Will Ferrell was one, but then they had another one with the white coach or the white shadow.
Woody Harrelson?
No, the white shadow, when they had the guy who was the coach doing it. That was when I was still playing ball. They asked me to come out and film something, and I didn't do it because I don't go out before the games. I mean, to me, I'm not going to waste 1 ounce of energy, half an hour before a game and get warm and then get cold and then get warm again. And that's another thing that drives me crazy about college basketball. Shit, they come out, they warm up, they go back in the locker room. They come out, they warm up, they go back in the locker room. I mean, my God, how many times you want to warm up and do something? I want to get warmed up one time and go play. The one thing that they do, they think that FIBA does, is that after the introductions, they let the players go out for a couple more minutes to shoot around and do some stuff and get warmed up again. The NBA doesn't do that. You got warmed up. You got to go through all the introductions of both teams. You got the national anthem playing and stuff. The Canadian team, you got 2 national anthems, and then you got to go out and play after you're warmed up. Now it's cold again. I mean, why would you not let them go for 2 minutes?
Are you speaking of international, real quick? World Cup. Are you watching it? Are you enjoying it? Is it?
No, I'm hoping that the USA continues to,
they look good this year. They look good.
Surprise people. They've done good. Hopefully, they can win the game coming up. It's tonight, I think. I think they play tonight.
It's fun stuff, yeah. And I'll let you go, sir. You've been on this show for so long. Let's promote everything you got going on before you leave, if that's okay. Just because you got some great ventures. Titan Pickleball still a sponsor?
Oh yeah, definitely Titan Pickleball.
Beautiful.
That's a great paddle and very good pricing. And their lower price paddle is probably better than a lot of the more expensive paddles in that world. Let me see here. Yeah, and if you go, the code there is
RBTP 24.
Right. And then Leaf, the cannabinoid products. I can survive without that stuff.
Oh, beautiful.
The RB24 is the code there. Go Sleeve, same thing with them. They amazing product that I use for your knees and Achilles and all the other stuff. RB24 is the stuff.
Yes, sir.
That's a good one. Some good stuff. And then if you're into some healthy foods and doing stuff and everything, you can go and try. Let me see. I'm going to let people know about this one because I use Y Power. It's called Y Power. It's pretty interesting. I take it. My wife and I actually take it, and I've been taking it for years every day. And it's stuff that you need to go and read about so you can. I can't really do it justice. I can't do justice to it because it's just so technically. I wouldn't be able to explain it properly. But it's Y Power. So if you check it out and go to Galaxy Health. GALIXY health.com, GALIXY health.com. And you do that, RB24, and you can get a little discount on that. And check it out. I take it every day. It's a chocolate flavored drink. Tastes pretty good.
Have you heard about this movie that's coming out before we leave, sir? The Dink. I believe it's going to be released on Apple TV. And it's about a pro tennis player who has to learn to play pickleball. Have you had a chance to see the previews or trailers for this?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I know they did one other thing on TV that was a disgrace to the game of pickleball. Pickleball is a great game. I hope they do it justice. But I mean, Jack Sock is one that's gone from professional tennis to playing. He's good friends with my son, John. But I played in some exhibitions that Sock was a part of. But yeah, in fact, Andre Agassi told me, so Rick, I figured it out. I said, what's that, Andre? Because I knew him since he was a kid at Bola.
Oh, my God.
And
love Andre.
Yeah, he said, professional tennis players are going to go and play pickleball. That's where they're going to go to die. And he's making millions of dollars in pickleball. He's smart, really smart.
And he still holds. What's crazy to me is he still holds the backhand with two hands.
Well, no, everybody. They have two-hand backhands. A lot of players.
Oh, that's normal. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a norm or not. But
two-hand backhand, yeah, they use that all the time.
Okay, because Agassi was like infamous.
Women player in the world, Annalie Waters is a two-hand backhand player.
Okay, well then never mind. I thought for some reason that was like a unique thing.
No, Andre's gotten a lot better since he first started a few years ago. I went to the first $1 million match down at the Hard Rock Cafe in Florida, and he's come a long way since then. He's gotten to be a lot better player. I'd love to get it. Hopefully I get a chance to play in some exhibition or some stuff and all and get a chance to play with him. That would be fun.
Hell yeah. Did your buddy still have the spot in Petaluma? Did you want to promote that too before we go?
Rohnert Park.
Rohnert Park, sorry.
Yeah, if you're out in the Rohnert Park, you want to belong to the greatest indoor club ever. I mean, Centerline 33. Oh my God. It's the
Centerline 33.
Centerline 33 in Rohnert Park. It's the greatest indoor pickleball facility I've ever seen in the country. I've been all over the place. I just actually talked to somebody from Pickleball Magazine, I think they're going to do a feature on it. And pickleball TV people should do one because there's nothing like it. It's unbelievable. People get spoiled because they have all these courts. The weather's nice in California, but a lot of times you go out, the sun, the wind, the leaves coming, blowing on the car. It's a pain. The greatest thing is getting a great indoor facility to be able to play in an indoor facility. And this is by far the best one that I've ever seen. It's so cool. They should try it out. Rich Coombs is the guy who built it in a former movie theater, 17 indoor courts, and you really have some privacy. It's not like going into this big building with all this noise and all these courts there. It's so unique, incredible, but the people should check it out. Centerline 33 in Rohnert Park. And if you're in the area, you're not that far away, it'd be worth, joining.
Yeah. Well, in the summer, I feel like the air conditioning is maybe brings the most value, right? You don't have to worry about the heat making
really hot, but the same thing in the wintertime. It could be cold and you get the wind.
Correct. Yeah.
Here's the thing, especially if you want to go, even the clubs should go and try to run their championships there and play them there because they got enough courts to do it. If the weather's good, you can play outside. They got a bunch of outdoor courts as well. But you never have to worry. But if you have an event to do something, you never have to worry and hope that the weather is going to be good. because
Exactly.
they're indoors. That's the one thing about basketball. Although I will say, early in my career, we had some games postponed because the idiots, when they put the courts down and they didn't clean them off properly, and it was like being on a skating rink. They were all full of like slippery stuff, and we had a few games canceled. One I remember in Cleveland, especially, it happened. But that's the beauty of basketball, is you never have to worry unless the city shuts down from a snowstorm or something. The weather's not going to impact getting to play.
Here's the visual for that other website you were mentioning, Galaxy Health, which redirects to Y Power supplement.
Right.
Is this the correct page?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So Galaxy.
If you take a little scoop of it, my wife take it every morning, shake it up, only like 6 ounces of water. It's pretty amazing. I try, and it's all healthy stuff for sure. I only try to do healthy stuff. So anyway,
of course. I mean, gee, look at you.
And I'll let you know more when I get to the point of doing stuff for our site once this training period is done to go for our pickleball dream trips, which is really going to be fun to do trips around the world and all over the place.
Hey now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to go over to do something over in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. I'm trying to go to Dubai, and do something over there. But
beautiful. I think it's safe again. I think to go back out.
I'm coming out. I'm going to have a whole new website coming out with all kinds of stuff. Everything will be on there once that's all up and operational. I'll let you know. But meanwhile,
beautiful. We'll promote it. Yeah, we'll promote it. Looking forward to the documentary. I hope one or both is released soon, because the 1975 Warriors, your career, they both need the attention. They need the documentary treatment from the pros. By the way, most popular, Mishra in the chat's asking, do I like the draft picks? Rick and I talked about this. Yeah, Yaxel Lendeborg, I think, was the best choice.
I think he'll be a nice player for the Warriors for a long time. I think he's got enough game and plays the game in a manner that will fit in really well with the way Steve Kerr approaches things. And hopefully he'll get better, because he's only 20. He's still going to be only 24. And 28 to 32 is usually your best years, they said before. It might be a little more than that now because of technology, maybe 30 to 34. So he's got a lot of years to improve. And if he stays healthy, that he should get to be a better player as the years go by.
Rick, it's always a pleasure, sir. Always. Like, every second is a delight. Is it dinner time in the Berry household?
What's that?
Is it dinner time in the Berry household?
Well, my wife was down to visit her father for Father's Day, so I got to call her before she goes to bed right now, because she'll be heading back this weekend. So, but yeah, take good care of your bulldog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you take care of yourself, sir. We look forward to seeing you soon. Rick, people can follow you on all social media platforms at Rick24Berry. We're back tomorrow with Happy Hour. Thank you, sir, as always. Thank you so much.
See you.
Bye-bye.